Well, hello everyone. My name is Stephanie. I am the Director of Community Engagement, and today I am joined by our transitional housing team. So we have Helene Gaither, Shonda Emery, and Andrea Rodriguez. Thank you, ladies. So today we're going to be talking more in depth about our transitional housing program, how youth get involved in it, and things like that. If you guys have any questions at any time, feel free to put it in the chat, and we will check that periodically. All right, so do you guys want to tell us like a brief description of the transitional housing program?
Yes, we serve ages 18 to 21, and these are foster youth who have aged out of the program, and they've chosen to stay in foster care, and we help them with independent living skills. Okay. And we provide housing and pay for their utilities, and we help them enroll in school, and we help them get jobs, that kind of thing.
Okay. So how does a youth go into the transitional housing program?
They have to have been in foster care on their 16th birthday. They express interest to their social worker, or their social worker will inform them of the opportunities of the program, and then we normally get a referral through their social worker, and then that starts the process.
Okay. So can kids just kind of ask questions about it without going to their county social worker?
Yeah, you can go on our website, and there's links on the website for the transitional housing program, and it has some pictures and just kind of a brief description, and then you can write us from that, or you can call, and then we'll respond.
Okay, perfect. So what's kind of the process for a youth to get into the program?
The qualifications?
Just like, so they've contacted you, they're interested in going through the transitional housing program. What does that look like on their end?
Oh, okay. So basically they would contact us and give us information. They can go online and do that, or they can let their social worker know they're interested. And their social worker will make a referral to us, and then we get in contact with the youth directly and do a phone interview, which is just a few minutes of asking basic questions. And then we send them our handbook so they can kind of read the rules and policies. And from there, we do an in-person interview and see if they're a good match for our program and if we can help serve them and meet their needs.
Okay. So this program, it's a roommate program, so you pair them up with someone else that's already in the program. How do you guys do that?
We kind of asked them during the interview process what their potential roommate would look like, or ideal roommate would look like for them, and then based on whoever is in the program already, since we know most of our clients' personalities, we try to go with whoever matches that particular client's personality, and then we set up a date and time for them to meet each other, see if it works out, and kind of go from there.
So they go into apartments. Do you guys furnish the apartments, or how does that work?
Yeah, we have a list of everything that we provide for them, and so basically the apartments are totally furnished. They get all their furniture, all of their kitchen essentials, bathroom essentials, hygiene items. I take them grocery shopping, and we do an initial grocery shopping trip with them to kind of see how they can budget. They have a budget, and so we kind of look and see, do they pick all freezer foods that are microwavable? Do they have cooking skills? Because that lets us know kind of when it comes to the goal process, like things that we can work with them and help them do. So we do grocery shopping, and then we go back and we just kind of unpack everything and unload everything. And we also do, certain personal items to try to make it just feel really homey. We want them to walk in and feel like this is their personal space. So like pictures, mirrors, knickknacks, that kind of stuff. And most of it is all new stuff. We do occasionally get donations of furniture and different items. We have youth in our program that are parenting youth, so moms with babies. So sometimes we get infant things donated to us, cribs and bassinets and pack and plays and that kind of stuff. And so we try to use whatever we can, but we want them to feel like this is a fresh start in their life, in a new chapter. So we want as much as possible to have a kind of a new experience and not have a ton of secondhand stuff or used things. So we try really hard to make it a really exciting new experience for them.
We've even thrown baby showers in the program so they get all brand new stuff. If they come in with an infant or a toddler, we provide a crib or a toddler bed for them as well.
Nice. Okay. Ooh, chat is going to be quiet today. Okay. So let's see, what else do I have? So you guys work really hard with these youth. You only have them for a couple of years. You said something about goals earlier. Do the youth pick the goals? Do you guys have the goals for them? How does that work?
It's a combination of both, I think. We have them kind of fill out an initial assessment when they come into our program to kind of see where they're at as far as like cooking skills, budgeting, do they know how to drive, and then every month we do have a timeline that we go through with them as well, as far as like checking credit score, making sure like they've applied for CalFresh benefits, are they enrolled in school, and then every month it's something new, so we just kind of tailor the goals to like where they want to be at by the time they exit our program.
Okay. So a new youth comes in, you guys sit down with them, do goals. Do you guys personally have goals for each client as far as like you want them after 6 months of being in the program, you want them to have such and such skills?
Yeah, that's kind of where the timeline comes into play, is we have certain criteria that they should be meeting by a certain time that they're in the program to keep them on track, so that by the time they turn 21 and they're emancipating our program, they have their driver's license, they their credit is to a place that maybe they're able to qualify to stay in the apartment that we have them set. And we've had clients that have actually just kind of taken over the lease of the apartment, and we allow them to keep all the furniture, all the contents, and so they can just kind of move on from there and go on with their lives. So
okay. What else do you guys do with the youth?
What don't we do? We do it all. No, I mean, anything that they want to accomplish. Between the years of 18 and 21 should be a really fun time for them. They're finally on their own and independent, but some of the kids come to us and they really don't have basic skills. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to do their own laundry. They don't even know how to set sometimes a thermostat. So we just kind of find out what they want to do. Do they want their driver's license? Do they want to go to school? Do they want to just work? What do they want to do? We want to get to know them and support them the best that we can. So by the time they leave our program at 21, they can afford their own place. They either have a career, or they're headed towards a career, or they've earned a certificate or a degree, but they can go out into the world and know their place in the world and know what they're going to do. So
we had a client yesterday. We were out doing apartment checks, and we had a client call, and I answered the phone call, and it was someone who's already left our program, and she's out on her own, and she informed us that she had been sitting at the gas station for 15 minutes because she overfilled her tank and the gas went all over the ground. And so she was sitting there, and she was calling us to see if it was okay for her to start her car, because she was afraid her car was going to blow up if she started it. So it's like things like that. Every child's experience in foster care is different, and every foster parent gives them different skills. And so we have kids that come in at 18, 19, 20 years old that have never done a load of laundry, that have never cooked an actual meal, that, don't understand about filling the car up, or even more serious things, like they don't understand how their credit score and, credit cards impacts their future of being able to get their own place or apply for a loan. Or so it starts from, like she said, thermostats and really simple fundamental stuff to stuff that really is going to matter as they go out in the world on their own. So we wear a lot of hats, and we're pretty much on call 24 hours, and we get calls all 24 hours. And it's really fun, and we love working with our youth, but it is something that you take home with you every day. Like, we can't just clock out and go home. We worry about them. Yeah. We we're worried about the choices they make and the people that they're hanging out with. It's kind of an extension of motherhood with us, because we really do, we really worry about them and their futures. So.
Yeah, and it's not just the jobs and the housing, it's also their mental health is a big component, and their personal social skills. A lot of them will come to us and not have those kinds of, they don't know how to keep a healthy relationship, or what does a healthy relationship look like? How do I trust? Those kinds of things. And so that's also, I mean, it's all encompassing. It's really, so it's social, emotional, mental, physical. There's a lot of pieces to it that we help them with.
Yeah, we've done, I mean, we help them with their taxes. I've helped them file restraining orders, that kind of stuff, get in touch with family law, different things like that. So it really is like, we do it all with them, you know, and that is what I'm passionate about, what we're all passionate about, and that is what we love about it. It's just being out in the field. It's not like a typical job where you just sit in an office all day, but you're constantly getting a call for advice, or even that too. Like, we'll just take them out for lunch sometimes because that's what they need. They've never had a support before, or someone that they can just like cry to and it'll be okay and they won't get judged. And so sometimes we just get calls like, can you just pick me up? I still deal with clients that have left the program. They still call me, and we have lunch and we have dates, and I still help them. You know, we all help them still kind of navigate through even exiting the program, what that looks like too.
So even after they've left the program, you guys still support them?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They come in and we help them do taxes.
Yeah.
We help them navigate, you know, leases and agreements, and just, you know, one of our girls bleached her hair the other day.
We're getting FaceTime videos. She
hasn't been in the program for a long time, and just asking our opinion on what color hair she should have. Because a lot of these kids, you know, they don't really have outside support systems, and so we become, you know, people they can trust and they can come to. And you know, one of our clients, we just got a DNA kit for her because, you know, she really doesn't have any extended family or anyone that, and we're hoping that that'll open a door for her, and maybe there's an aunt or an uncle or a cousin out there that maybe didn't understand the circumstances as to why she was brought into foster care, and maybe it will give her some links into, you know, having some connections with family. So
yeah, and some of our clients, they have a support system, but some of them, we are their cheerleaders. We're the ones they call when they accomplish, like, I graduated, I got my diploma, or I enrolled in college, or I passed my finals, you know, and we're the ones that, like, congratulations, you know, we're always there as a support, and we just try to be there for them as much as we can.
Well, yeah, and we have one client who, her dream is to be a flight attendant, and she was coming up with all these reasons why she couldn't do it or wouldn't do it or shouldn't do it. And we were like, but why can't you do that? And a lot of these kids come to us and they don't even think, they never envision themselves having that kind of future, their dream job, or being married with, you know, the kids and the house and the white picket fence. They don't envision that. And so we're like, why can't you have that? You can. Just because you're in foster care doesn't make you any different. If you want to do it, we're going to help you do it. And we do. We cheer them on and we help them and we support them. And yeah.
And a lot of times for the foster youth, there's even more opportunities out there for them than for biological children. You know, as far as college, there's so many scholarships and grants and, you know, different services for the kids in college. And so there really is nothing that they can't do if they're pointed in the right direction.
Okay. So we do have some stuff going on in the chat. Let's see. So Angela says, hi, Helene.
Hi.
All of you do an amazing job with these young adults.
Oh, thank you.
Cynthia says, THP is amazing. What a wonderful program. And then it shows you all truly care about each and every person in the program and truly care about your careers. And Stephanie says, hi, Mom.
Well, last night I told my kids, I said, if you want to know what I do and where I go every day, then log on and you'll hear about it. And, you know, and with that being said, the thing is, transitional housing is such an amazing opportunity. When Stephanie was in my home, and multiple children over the years that have been in my home, when they turned 18, they got a manila folder with their birth certificate and their court documents, and they were told good luck. And there were many times that I had kids sleeping on my couch, on my floor, you know, doubled up in bedrooms. rooms, sharing the room with me, because there was nowhere else for them to go. And if they chose not to go back to their biological family, it really limited where they could be. And so, so along with all the great things we do and the support and the love and all the caring, we are pretty hard on the kids about taking advantage of this opportunity, doing what you have to do. You're not going to spend 3 years in our program playing video games and having your friends hang out. Like, we have expectations for you because we know what an amazing opportunity this is. And if, you know, it is a fairly new program, it hasn't been around for very long. And if we can't, our agency and other agencies that do this program, if we can't show viable results and show that the kids are coming out of these programs better than before these programs were initiated, this funding is going to go somewhere else. So, so we're not always nice. You know, we do apartment checks, and we have a level of cleanliness that we expect from them. We do pop-up checks to make sure that there's no drugs or alcohol in the apartments, that there's not people there that don't belong there. And if there are, we're the mean ones that have to kick everybody out and tell them to leave in the middle of the night. And so it's not all fun and games. I mean, there are some very these kids come with very traumatic backgrounds, and so we do have a lot of relationships that result in like domestic violence, and like she said, she's had to do restraining orders, and we've had to coach some of our young parents on, you don't leave your child in the car downstairs when you come up to talk to us. Like, that's an issue. So there's a lot of things that we really do have to be real serious with them about, because just of their background and where they've came from and the opportunities that they get from this program. So
definitely. Ashley says, miss you guys.
Oh, we miss you, Ashley. We were just talking about Ashley today.
But just to add on to the whole like mental health factor Helene was saying, a lot of people don't realize what not taking it, like, I know that a lot of foster parents want to be foster parents and they only want to take infants or, young children, but the teenagers are the ones that really, really need the most support. Like, people don't understand, when they come into our program, that's when we see their traumas, their triggers. I actually had a former client, she had emancipated from the program, and then a month later she calls me and we have lunch, and all of a sudden she starts ODing in my seat because she had taken a bottle of pills, and I was the only one that, she trusted. And so we rushed her to the hospital, and I was able to help her, and the doctor saved her life. But it's just, and then we're like lifelong friends now. But and I check up on her and make sure she's doing okay. But that's just what people don't realize, is they feel the neglect. They feel like people don't ever want them. So sometimes when they come into our program, it's hard for them to even trust us. Sometimes they're kind of iffy, and that's what we'd like to see more people take in teens, and then they can join our program, and that's just our goal. So,
well, if you think back to your teen years, and you think back to you're not even in foster care, what you're dealing with as a teenager, you're already rebellious, you don't want to listen to your parents, and then you pack on foster care on top of that, the trauma of not having healthy relationships with your own parents, and you're moving all over the place, and you're hearing, oh, nobody wants you because you're 13. You make bad choices, and we've all been there. And so I think if people will just think back to what they were like as teenagers, maybe they would have more of a heart for the teenagers, because I personally think that I love that age group. I think that they're very open and they're resilient. And if you could meet our kids, they are amazing kids. They're all good kids. They're just like an 8-year-old that wants love and wants to belong. And once you show them that you are in their corner, and you will be there, and you'll be their advocate, and you will fight for them, and you are there when they need you, that's all they want. And they'll follow the rules. And we see it all the time. But when, they're not feeling wanted, or, it's, they get that message and they react to it. So, yeah.
Well, this is kind of out of place, but Shonda is a foster parent with us and deals a lot with the teenagers. Maybe another video will dive more into that.
Yes, I love doing videos, Stephanie.
You'll be fine. You're doing fine.
But also, I just want to remind people that this age group, I think, is the most misunderstood.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I remember being a teenager, and I was never in foster care, but I still remember feeling, like that fear. You're 18, you graduated, they expect you to know how to do this and that, and there's X amount of stuff, but it's just, they are misunderstood, but we get them and we love them.
And I think this age group too, one of the sad sides of it is that it almost feels like they never really get to enjoy any part of their life. When they're in foster care, they're always worried about their 18th birthday because that's the end of that. And so they can't even enjoy being a child and a teen because their mind's always going forward to what happens when I turn 18. And even, we get clients in the program and they come in at 18 and they're immediately worried about what happens when I turn 21. And we're like, you have 3 years. Like, we have so much we can accomplish in this time. We can really work on this stuff. But they always go back to what happens when I'm 21. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Who's going to be there for me? And so that's kind of one of the other things that you have to realize when you work with this age group is there's always some level of anxiety with them, and you have to be able to work with that because they can never just really relax and just enjoy the present and what they're in at that moment because they're already worried about what's going to happen next.
Yeah, we had a former client who was homeless for a while, and it took probably a good 6 months for us to convince her that she was not going to be. There's nothing you can do in our program that will cause you to be homeless. As Shonda always says, unless you choose to be homeless. Yeah. If you want to leave our program and live on the streets, you can do that. But as long as you're in our program, you're always going to have a roof over your house, your head. You're always going to have food on your table. You're always going to have clothes. You're always going to have us. And I don't even think she really believed it until she finally left our program. And she still keeps in touch with us. And it's just nice to know that.
It took her like 6 months.
She still didn't trust
to unpack.
Yeah.
We had every month we had to make a goal to unpack a box, unpack a suitcase, put something on the wall because she had just moved around so much in her life that she just did not even believe that anything could be a permanent thing for her. And she ended up leaving the program, renting her own house with her boyfriend and her baby, and is doing, I just talked to her a few days ago, like doing amazing and being a great mom, has a good job. And so it's sad because when we backtrack and look at all of the things that she could have enjoyed instead of worried about, now we talk about that, how, she really regrets not just kind of being able to live in that moment instead of always worrying about the future.
And we really have to do a lot of work on self-confidence and self-esteem. I would say probably a good majority of our girls come to us from either having been in sex trafficking or prostitution, and we have to work with them to get them to understand that they don't need to do that. And so we have one client that I'm specifically thinking of who's left that trade and never wants to go back and is successful. She sees her worth now, and it's just nice to know that, she's not going to go back to that. So...
We also do outings with them as well. So a lot of them, like we went camping last year. We've gone rollerblading. We take them to like the basketball, hockey games here in town. So a lot of them have never done anything. Shonda was just telling a story earlier about how some of our clients, when she took them to the beach, that was their first time ever seeing the ocean, touching sand, so we just want to give them those experiences that they've never had. We have community meetings every month where we teach them about taxes, we teach them about credit, financial aid, so they are educated. We do educate them and just kind of guide them along the way as well.
And I know you guys do things special for the holidays too. You guys want to talk a little bit about that?
You do a lot of things special. We make the list, and Stephanie makes the amazing baskets. Yeah. But yeah, we try to make them feel special, and a lot of them, again, like even I think the what is the word I'm looking for? Just the view from people outside of foster care is foster kids are so lucky. Like, they have everything they want, and there are bad foster homes too. The same way there's bad biological homes, there's bad foster homes. And we've had clients, one of the ones that I'm still very, very close to has never celebrated her birthday. ever. And so, you know, it was really special to be able to make her birthday a big deal. But you assume if a child's grown up in foster care, they've experienced Christmas, they've experienced birthdays, they've experienced graduations. You know, there's foster parents that won't pay for yearbooks, that won't pay for a child to go to the prom. And so those are all things that we're able to help these kids experience and show them what it should look like, because eventually they're going to want to pass those things down to their own kids when they have families. And so just because a child's in foster care doesn't mean all their needs are met. And so when we have them do their favorites list with all the things they would love to have, and we can present that to them, or at Christmas we had the big Christmas party, and we did gingerbread houses, and we did stockings, and we did all of these things for some of these kids. That was honestly the first time that they got to experience that, or get a present that they really wanted.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the joy on their face. One cried when she opened up and she got what she exactly to the brand what she wanted.
Yeah.
It made her cry that somebody thought to buy that for her because she asked for it, and it's a joy to see. Yeah.
And we also, you know, do the gifts for the parenting youth too, so it's nice.
Yeah,
Our holiday
it
party,
is.
all the kids were around. They got to open presents too. Easter too, they got Easter baskets. So it's nice. Thanks, Steph.
Yeah. Well, we had one youth too who was afraid she wasn't going to get a baby shower, and so we threw her a baby shower with our staff, and she got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
She got a lot of stuff, and she felt so celebrated and just so appreciative that people cared enough to come together and throw her a baby shower, and so it's just fun stuff like that we like to do for them. So.
So the youth don't have to be in Parents by Choice already. They can be with another agency, or
they can be in different cities. They can be, it has nothing to do with Parents by Choice. It's about being able to be eligible for the program by being 16 in foster care, and having the referrals made by their social workers.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be when they turn 18. They could be, they could have left foster care and be on a SILP if they, a shared independent living program, and then decide, well, I want to be a part of a THP. They can age out and leave foster care and come back if they'd like to, as long as they were in foster care on their 16th birthday. We've had that happen where they try to venture out on their own and they just can't quite navigate independence yet, and they still need a little bit of help, and they come back to our program, so they can always re-enter at any time. And then the qualifications to stay compliant in the program, they need to at least be working part-time, or going to school part-time, or addressing the barriers that keep them from doing that, such as mental health or any other disability that they have. And right now with COVID, it's kind of difficult to do all that. So we're just working with them the best that we can. But they do need to be fulfilling some requirements as far as school, working, or doing something that's going to help them be able to be independent when they're 21. So
let's see if there's anything. So Cynthia in the chat asked, does the county tell youth aging out about this program?
Not always.
Yes. Not
Yeah,
always.
you would think that they would, but we've had numerous children or clients that have contacted us that either hear about the program through other foster youth, through different services at school. This last year, we reached out to all of the high schools and just let them know that we were here and kind of what our program entailed, because a lot of the foster care liaisons and the high school sites weren't even aware that this program was available for their youth. So even though it's been around for a pretty long time, it still is kind of something that's out there that a lot of the youth aren't really aware of, unfortunately.
So Cynthia says, San Joaquin County Independent Living? Or no? I can't make up that. So they have to be in care on 18, not 16, to return
Oh,
to
it is
foster
18.
care.
Yeah. Their 18th birthday. I thought it was 16 though. It might have changed. Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you.
So you guys have goals for them. How many goals do you do? Like, is it per month? Is it per week? How does the goals work?
It's per month. 3 goals, and we usually like one to be educational, one to be personal, one to be about a job, or just in all different areas, so we can make sure, do you have a doctor's appointment you need to make? Oh yeah, okay, I need to get my eyes checked. I want to apply to 15 jobs this week, or sometimes it's just keeping a mental health appointment. So they come up with the goals and we kind of lead them. When they first come into our program, we have them do something called the Casey Life Skills Assessment, and it gives us an indication of how well they're doing in certain areas and where they need help, and so we can guide them with their goals. But most of the time they'll come in and just be like, I want to do this, or I want to learn how to cook this meal, and Andrea will go over there and cook with them and not share with us. We're not bitter about that.
Chili and then share with
Yeah,
us.
yeah. Oh, well, that's true.
I've made like pozole, like tacos. One of our clients likes Mexican food, so yeah, I'm like over there all the time.
Done lasagna and
Oh yeah,
different,
lasagna,
different
cookies,
desserts.
yeah.
And we year before last, we did kind of like a banquet for Thanksgiving, and so each one of the clients was responsible for like one of the dishes, and so we went around and helped everyone make the different dishes, and then we all came together and then had like the Thanksgiving dinner together, and so they all got to kind of learn a little bit and then also enjoy the meals that everybody had made all together, so that was really fun.
We even went, not last year, but the year before last, we went caroling too for cans.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
was one of our community meetings. So it was really fun. Like, they were a little shy, but we collected a lot of canned foods, took it to the food bank, and we caroled.
And then last year, because for December, we always try to make the outing something that's like giving back.
Yeah.
And so last year, we went, a couple of the clients went with me, and we went downtown, and we fed the homeless and were able to sit with them and visit with them. It was like veterans and homeless, and so they were all able to do that, and they really enjoyed it. And a couple of them were like, I would really love to do this again. And so we just try to make everything really broad, so that they're experiencing a lot of different things, that they're giving back, they're also receiving. A lot of our clients have a real issue with receiving things. Like, they don't trust that they can get something without there being something attached to it, and they don't have to pay it back or be reminded, I'm doing this for you, or so even doing things for them sometimes is hard. So we try to just do a little bit of everything, so that we're hitting all of the points, and exposing them to as much as we can.
So if a youth doesn't reach their goals for the month, what happens?
They don't get money. Yeah, their goals.
Money is the incentive.
Everything that we do, we try really hard to make it reward based, so that there's something behind it. And so their goals are, they get paid for their goals. They're $20 a piece for their goals. And so if they don't accomplish their goals, then they just don't receive that money at the end of the month in their stipend.
And their visitor privileges also depend on, there's no overnight visitors in our program, but their visitor privileges depend on them complying the prior month. So if they don't get a goal done, if there's a management complaint, if they're in any violation, they don't have guest privileges for the next month. They also lose that. So that's their incentive too. But most of them are pretty good. I don't think we've had that many issues where they haven't completed goals. And we are flexible too, so if it's like too hard, we might work with them to change it. And some of the goals are like that, like, oh, I have to file my FAFSA, I have to enroll in school, or it could just be like self-esteem related, like, you know what, I've always wanted to dye my hair this color, I want to try it, something new, so it might just be like, hey, I'm going to dye my hair pink this month, or something like that.
And some goals are out of their control, like if one of their goals was, to have a session with their social worker, and their social worker is unavailable, then we're pretty good about, we'll switch it out to something else that they can get accomplished, by the end of the month, so.
So I know you guys have helped kids get cars and stuff like that. Do you want to tell us how you work with the youth on doing that?
By biting our fingernails and being really scared. Teaching these kids to drive is the scariest part of our job. Yes.
I always offer to let them drive my car, and they're like, no, because I've got the Yukon XL. They're like, no, we'll drive Andrea or Shanda's car, but we don't want to drive your car. One of them can't even see over the she's like, no, I can't. So yeah, but no, and we're very hands-on. I think I don't know a lot of social workers who will get up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. and drive down to the Bay Area to help somebody take care of a ticket violation, or just the things that our team does for these kids, taking them out in their own personal cars to teach them how to drive.
Buying with insurance first.
Yes. Yeah.
Standing outside Joanne's in the COVID to get material.
Yeah, exactly.
We were talking about that yesterday. We're like, they don't understand the stuff that we do. Standing out in the sun for an hour to get into Joanne's to buy material for your apartment.
Right. Yeah.
But so the driver's license is a real big deal. I mean, they need that to be able to move around and to broaden their job availability and stuff. So we do take them out driving and practicing, because for a lot of them, they normally get vouchers for the behind the wheel, and it starts with 3. And we have Cynthia at the county here in Stanislaus San Joaquin has been amazing at getting us more vouchers if the children aren't ready at that point. But sometimes they just need real experience with us, and so we do that, and we try to get them prepared, and then we get them down to DMV and kind of get them prepared to do the behind the wheel. And then with any big purchase or any big decision, we always ask that they just come and talk to us and let us help them, buying a car, enrolling in the different trade schools that then they have to sign loan documents for thousands of dollars. And, we really want them to come to us so we can do the pros and cons before, because they are legal adults now. So if they sign a contract for cosmetology school and then decide that's not really what they want to do, or that they have no way to get there, which they don't think about, we had a client that, wanted to have a job at Amazon in Tracy, but has no transportation. And her solution was, she was going to just rent a hotel in Tracy all week and then just work there and then just come home for the weekends. And so we had to have the discussion that you need to do the numbers and do the math. And although we're so proud of you that you're so motivated that you would make those accommodations for that job, it really probably isn't going to be profitable for you, and you're not going to make the money that you think you're going to make. So sometimes their thought process for their decisions isn't always mature. I mean, they're young, so it's just they haven't thought it all out yet. And so we always ask that they come to us. So because if they don't, then what happens is then we have to go out there and then we have to fix what's broken, and it's a lot easier to be on this side of it rather than that side. So
the driving lessons are really because we're all they've got. Foster parents are like, nope, I'm not helping you, or they have no contact with their bio parents, and so we're really all they've got. And so we'll do that for them.
Yeah, and we've had some clients that have been able to save enough money for cars, and our program is really unique in the fact that we encourage them to save as much as they can. And so if they put an additional $50 into their account, or as much as they want into their emancipation account that we keep for them, we match them up to $50. So let's say they want to put in $100 from their stipend, we'll match that with $50. So they get an extra $150. And so a few of them are actually ready to buy cars. It's just a matter of getting the license. They have enough saved up. And exactly. So it's fun to watch them save that money up for a really big purchase. And
So I know COVID has had a lot to what you guys do. How have you guys kind of overcome that with the youth?
Things haven't really changed for us.
No, we're still going to apartments.
And other people have been able, but it hasn't really changed for us. It can't. These are 18 to 21-year-old, clients. They can't be left to their own devices for months on end. They would be starving to death, and they would have,
We made care packages for them when all this first started, filled it with water, mac and cheese, toilet paper. Napkins.
We were running errands, we don't want you to go to the store, so tell us what you need. We were picking up eggs and rice and beans, and then we just got to the point where we're like, okay, we'll just take you guys shopping. So we've never stopped. We've always been in the apartments.
Careful. We have our masks. When we go into the apartments, we're not sitting on the couch next to them. We're practicing social distancing, but we are still still having regular contact. I mean, this has been really hard on them too, emotionally. You know, like we said, the mental health component is really strong in this population, and so, you know, they have huge anxiety and they're worried about, you know, school and what that's going to look like, and some of them have been laid off and lost their jobs, and so they're worried financially, and so we talked about it, and our boss gave us the option of doing, you know, everything by Zoom, everything by phone, everything, but as a team we decided that it was in the best interest of our clients to still be able to have personal contact with them. So so we're still kind of doing things the way that we were doing before.
Yeah, and speaking of people losing their jobs, if anybody out there wants to mentor, or you have a job, you work at a business where you might be hiring, or you are a realtor or a dental technician or something, our youth are always looking to shadow and learn and that kind of thing. So if you work at a business where you could mentor or have an intern or you can hire somebody, you know, these kids they work hard, they really do. And I think sometimes they get a bad rap. People think, oh, well, they're probably flaky because they're teenagers. They're not. Our kids are, you tell them to be at work at 8, they're going to be there at 8. They will find a way they will Uber there and pay to get to their job if they have to. They will do that. They'll do what they need to do and they get stuff done. And so if you have a job for any of them or anything, you want to volunteer your time to mentor them, we would love that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's basically just to learn skills in that field and things like that.
Right, yeah. Like we had one who was interested in doing real estate for a while, and Andrea knew somebody, a realtor, or no, I think it was you, knew a realtor who was willing to have this client shadow her and teach her kind of about real estate, and it didn't. I don't think it panned out, but I mean something like that, you know, because sometimes, and this happens to all of us, not just foster kids, but you start taking classes and then you realize maybe this isn't for me. So sometimes just shadowing or mentoring somebody in that field, and then they can decide for themselves, you know, maybe real estate isn't for me, or maybe it is, or, you know, they may decide to do something completely different.
We were out yesterday again doing apartment checks, and one of our clients, we were kind of saying, like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you see yourself doing, you know, in the future? And you know, she was like, I really have never thought about that. Like, anything that I've ever wanted to do just seems so unrealistic that and again, that goes back to just living in the moment and not really being able to have the luxury that a lot of us have to focus on the future or say, when I grow up, this is what I want to be, because a lot of these kids, you know, have been in foster care and haven't had stable placement, so they don't really have the time to even think about what they're going to be when they grow up, because they're wondering where they're going to live tomorrow, or if they're going to get to go home, or who's going to take care of them. So they haven't put a lot of focus into what they want to be when they grow up. So we get them at 18 or 19, and it really is like a brand new fresh slate where we have to, you know, kind of really dig deep and say, what are you interested, what are you passionate about, what do you want to do, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and all of those things to try to help them kind of navigate. We don't want any of our clients to, you know, enroll in school and just go through the motions. You know, if school's not really their thing and that's not where their passion is, we don't want to see them enroll and then fail their classes and get their financial aids taken away and owe money to schools. And, you know, I had one client that enrolled in 3 different trade schools without, you know, coming to us first, but would enroll and drop out, enroll and drop out, and ended up with thousands of dollars in student loans. And you're an adult. You signed those contracts, so you have to pay those back. And we don't want to see that happen. So we really want to help steer them into the right direction. So if school's not your deal, then let's focus on you not just working at McDonald's, or if that's where you want to work, like, let's get you to be the manager at McDonald's or the district manager, not just be, you know, in the back cooking hamburgers. So we really want them to have jobs and occupations that are going to be able to support them out in the real world.
And some of our clients are young moms, like this one you're talking with in particular. She's been a mom since she was, 15, 16? So that's all she knows. That's her future, is taking care of her child. You know, how I don't even have time to think about what I want. I got to take care of my kid. And so I think us coming in and helping to work with them, and, you know, you are a mom, but what do you want to do? Let's get your child enrolled in daycare or preschool because that's going to be good for him. Let's focus on you too. And so it gives them permission to focus back on themselves. They're not just living for their child, but they're living for themselves and to create a better future for their child. So I like that we can do that too.
Yeah.
All right. We have a couple questions in the chat. So Cynthia Leaderly, I think I said that right. Not sure. Asked, did Myra ever get her driver's license?
Myra?
Or Maria?
Who? Maria?
Maria?
Mariah? Maria?
Oh, maybe Mariah? I don't know. We don't have them.
We have,
Okay.
we have, yeah, we have a Maria. And
Maria.
We have a Mariah.
Yeah, Maria has her license. Mariah does?
Working on
it.
COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then she asked if you are currently full.
Never.
Nope.
Never.
No, we actually just increased our capacity, and we're getting referrals left and right, and we are always willing to take more kids and open new apartments and whatever we need to do to help them. So, yeah.
And it's nice because we're small, so we're very hands on with the kids. We're very hands on with each other. There's not like 10 different departments that you have to filter through to get an answer. So you know, we can staff things pretty quickly and make decisions fast. And so far it's worked really well for us like that.
Yeah, and we have good relationships with the managers at the apartments that we have our apartments at. So we can just call and be like, hey, do you have an apartment? And they're like, sure, yeah, because we have a good reputation with a lot of the apartments that we are using customers. I don't know. But yeah, so no, we're very friendly with the management companies, and we can just call and say, hey, we have a couple kids, and they're really, really quick to get things set up for us. So that's been nice too.
Do you guys only have apartments here in Stockton, or do you have them in other cities?
No, we have actually apartments in Modesto also. I mean, we have the capability, honestly, to have apartments anywhere that we're our coverage area for our foster homes. Stockton has been kind of where the majority, just because of Delta and because of UOP. So, you know, a lot of youth come here because they want to go to school here. But we have one apartment that we have in Modesto. We had two, but we closed the one down because she emancipated the program and moved out on her own. So you know, we explore that. If we get a referral, you know, and we had one referral that came in and it just didn't work out, but the client was working in Tracy and wanted, you know, an apartment in Tracy. I would say the only place that I can't find apartments is Lathrop. There's no apartment complexes in Lathrop. But you know, we could do Manteca, we could do Modesto, we could do Turlock, we could do any of those areas.
Okay, good to know. Cynthia replied to Yippee.
What?
To the if you guys are full.
Oh.
What did she reply?
Yippee.
Oh, also what?
All right, let's see. Do you guys want to share like a success story on where they were and how they ended the program?
You know, one of our youth that we had, she was actually my first client that was on my caseload, and we started out kind of rough, you know. She was going to school, and she would get huge financial aid checks, and they would be disappeared within a week or two on, you know, fast food, Uber Eats, Lyft, trips to San Francisco, MAC makeup.
I was waiting for you to say makeup.
Like, you know, whatever it could be spent on besides what was necessary, that's kind of where it went. And really not focused in school and all over the place, and, you know, and dropping classes and then enrolling back in school, and not wanting to work because school was her focus, which it really wasn't. And so it was just really difficult kind kind of reining her in to be focused. And we finally, through, again, like Helene said, if you have a job, if you know someone that would be willing to hire one of our youth, we had actually a staff member here that made some job offers for a restaurant that they had. And so she interviewed and got the job, and it just, like, the light switch went on, and started, like, saving, like, hundreds of dollars every month, putting money away, working full-time and going to school full-time, saving up. By the time she exited the program, she had thousands of dollars saved up in her savings account for her to buy a car, was working full-time, getting really nice checks, took over the lease of the apartment. We had gotten credit to the point that, you know, she was able to take over the lease of the apartment. She just, with the COVID thing, she ended up getting laid off from that job, but jumped right back in and got a job at Amazon, and is still living in the apartment, living her best life. You know, she was able to get a friend to rent the other room of the apartment, so she got to pick who she wanted to live with, and so did a really good job. And the youth I talked about earlier, you know, got a house with her boyfriend and is living. We've, not that, you know, we talked about this the other day, not that every single one leaves, you know, with that great exit story, but I would, one thing that we do is when the client leaves our program, we do kind of an exit checklist with them. And one of the things we ask them is, can we check in with you? So every 6 months, can we call and just see where you're living, who you're living with, if you're working? And so far, we've only had one client that has really been homeless and had nothing, no resources. And that really was her making those choices, because there were things that could have been done to help her. But we have youth that are in college and getting their degrees, have bought cars in our program, brand new cars, and paid them off by the time they exited our program. So we're really lucky. We've had a lot of really good success stories.
So how can the community help you guys in your program, or help the youth in your program, aside from the mentorship stuff?
If anyone has any, like, donations of, like, cars or you know, old cars that you don't want to donate to our clients, so that they can.
And those would be write-offs. We are a nonprofit, so if you donate, you know, if you have a minivan,
furniture, or minivan, furniture too.
Also, bike everywhere. We've had, I don't know why, but bikes stolen all the time, like from the grocery store from them. So, but we've been blessed enough to, like, get another donation for them, or be able to, you know, get a bike elsewhere. So yeah, bicycles. A lot of them like to do that.
All of the holiday stuff that we do. So, you know, most of that stuff is done by donation for Christmas and Easter, and being able to provide all those things for them during the holidays. That's something that, you know, would be helpful.
Or even like an education scholarship if you'd like to donate.
Or buy a laptop or a tablet or something. The other thing too is, speaking of the holidays, some of our kids don't really have any bio family to spend the holidays with. We had one last year who chose to work. And we all offered. We're like, come to our house. And she chose to work, and she was fine with, you know, how she spent the holiday. But we never want our kids to ever feel like they have nowhere to go. So if you ever want to open your home, you know, during the holidays to any of our youth, that's always appreciated. Or if you just feel like befriending them, I mean, just, you know, just to have a lifelong connection with them. They really crave that.
And we've talked a lot about creating like a mentor program or something. You know, right now we have a lot of parenting moms, and that's kind of what we're seeing is some of them have, even with not having good examples, are amazing parents. And some of them really need somebody in their lives to be able to see what that looks like, and how to discipline a child, how to parent a child. So, you know, even like Helene said, even just being somebody that could be a support system for them. And if they were having a bad day, to call, or if they were just stressed out, or, you know, just having another connection.
So just taking like a youth out to Starbucks when Starbucks is open.
Yes, just befriending them, and really just being interested in their lives and being another connection for them. They really need that and they want that. And always, but that's your job. And we're always like, no, you know what? Our job is 8 to 5. It does not, after 5, we're still doing things for you guys, and we're still thinking about you and worried about you. And so for us, it's more than a job. But I think when someone else comes in from the community and says, hey, I want to do something for the kids. I want to, help them. I want to do this. It means so much more to them because that person's really giving themselves and wanting to connect. And that does make such a difference. And they really want that.
And for us, it's hard too, because if we step into those roles, like you said, with the holidays, we would never let one of our clients be alone for a holiday. But when we take them home with us, there's that blurred line too, because then other clients are like, oh, she's your favorite or he's your favorite, or because they have somewhere to go. And so we get a lot of that, where that's your favorite, or you did that because they were your favorite. And it's just because there's I tell my kids all the time, fair does not mean equal. And it's kind of the same at work. Like, we try to keep everything equal and everything fair between our clients, but they all have different needs. And so we have to meet them where they're at. And so sometimes if were there people from the outside stepping in that would be able to create these relationships with them, then it would make our jobs easier, because then we wouldn't have kind of that blurred line there.
Yeah, and a lot of them have never had like a traditional Thanksgiving or a traditional Christmas, and that feeling of getting up in the morning and helping your mom make the turkey and the stuffing, and I never had that personally, but I do that now with my kids, and I see how much it means to them, and every year they look forward to that, and I would love to see our youth have that experience too and be able to pass that on to their children. So
we have parenting youth that when we ask them what they need, some of them will say, I just need to sleep. Yes. And they have nobody that they trust, because they'll say, oh, I would never leave my baby with my bio mom. I would never let my sister take care of my my baby. And so they really are even limited in just who's going to be. There's one of our youth that when I go there, her son calls me Nana now, and he's like so excited when I get there, and and it's just, but it makes me feel good, and all of us have got attached to the babies, and so it really makes us feel good. But on the flip side, it makes us realize what limited resources they really have, and as a brand new mom, you do get tired, and sometimes all you want in life is to take a nap. But if you have nobody that you could trust to take care of your child, or even if you do, but your trauma tells you nobody's safe in this world, it creates more stress for those parents. So, if they had bonded, trusting relationships with other adults that could be a grandparent figure to the babies, or could be a role model to these kids, it would really make a huge difference in their lives. And you don't have to do it for every single one. It's, it's that saying, you can make a difference in one child's life. So it's not something that has to overwhelm you, or you don't have to do it every single day, but whatever you can give is going to be appreciated, as long as it's consistent. If you're going to jump in, you just really have to make the decision that you are going to do this, because the worst thing for these kids would be to come in and make all these statements and get them to trust you, and then to decide, that, that's over now and you're done doing your community service, and then disappear. So.
So is there an email that anyone that's watching that wants to do that can send?
Yeah, they can email me at Helene, HELENE at parentsbychoice.net, or our website. Just go to our website and click on Transitional Housing, and you can email us that way, or any of us, call us, whatever, whatever you want to do.
We have quite a bit. Okay, here we go. So Carolyn says, I enjoyed watching this. You guys are awesome. I know my daughter gives her whole heart and soul into this program and the kids she has living with her. I'm so glad they came up with a program like this, as when the kids phase out of the system, they are far from being ready to face real life. Blessings to you all. Thank you. And then Cynthia asks, how long do you follow up with them formally after they leave?
Forever. And actually, we don't. A lot of them just keep in touch with us, so we don't really have to follow up.
So we do like 6-month check-ins. Yeah. So
as long as they'll let us.
As long as their information is available and their phone number's the same, or their Facebook or email or whatever, as long as they keep their information current with us, then then we keep up with them.
Okay. And then a different Cynthia
Wow, Cynthia's.
says, I would love to do that for any of them.
Well, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, she knows how to get a hold of us. So,
Yeah.
all right. You guys have any last words you want to say?
No, I think.
No.
Yeah. Thank you.
And it wasn't so bad, you're right.
All right. So, thank you guys for joining us. There's the link there, theparentsbychoice.net/transitional housing, if you want more information about this wonderful program. So thank you, ladies, for joining me today.
Thank you.
And I'll see you guys again Tuesday at 3 o'clock with Clara Munoz. I don't think I said that right, but she is our behavioral health contract for positive parenting. She heads that up, and so she's going to be diving more into some of the different modules of positive parenting that we provide. So we'll see you then, and thank you guys for joining.
Bye.